Yo, 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 what is going on, CoD Familia? It is your boy BN, aka Mr. Kingdom Builder, and today we are going to be taking a look at the announced new KvK groups, where we take a look at their previews for the pairings that they have gotten thus far. We're going to also show you some of the data that we have kind of ported over and put into our nice kind of overview tab that we did similarly for 27 through 90. And I want to point out, this is wild. This is very unprecedented, at least thus far in Call of Dragons early history, because there is officially what I have come to understand as 11 kingdoms that are getting put into the Season 1 Plus / unofficial Season 2 merged kingdom all together. This is pretty bananas as far as what we've seen from these 23 kingdoms. So let's go ahead and take a look at what is this madness that is probably going to, I mean, who knows how this is going to play out. This is wild to me. Okay, so this is where we're at on the sheet. Let me see if I can I do a soft tab down? I want to try and get everything in here if I can. 11, oh, it won't let me. Darn, okay, I thought it would. No, rough life. Okay, well, we're only one away anyway, so I'm just trying to get everything on the screen for you guys in one go. So here we are with our, oh, I have to change this. This is, why does that say 27, 29? Let's do this. We'll do K91, 102, and then we'll do SS14, and we'll do SS15. There we go. That looks a lot better. So these are the 23 kingdoms. We've got 12 kingdoms that are getting split into 4 groups, and then we have the one here that's 11 kingdoms that you can see. Total is, oh, not some, but you can see here, total for the count down here at 11, right? Just to kind of show you. Now, this is, again, pretty unprecedented because, and I'm curious on why was the move to do 11 kingdoms. If you remember, when we looked at the first, I think it was 2 groups that were originally the initial SSs, so you had SS1, I believe it was -1, -2. Those eventually became SSS, 3 S's, 1-7 and -8. And essentially what they did with those 10 kingdoms is they just reorganized them. They didn't combine all of them into one go. So this is somewhat, I don't want to say confusing, or at least use that word initially, but it is, I don't know. I don't get it, right? That's the one thing that is a little baffling to me because sure, you had the first 4 kingdoms that got merged together, and then eventually they added 2 on after that, going into the next season, to then have kingdoms 1 through 6 become a single merge. But it was done intermittently. It wasn't done kind of all lump sum all together. So now you're having 11 kingdoms that are essentially getting put into the next merge group. And we'll show you that too as well before we do take a look at some of the stats. So here you can see for this group, which is going to be on the 7th of July, you have all of these kingdoms, and you can see it here. I don't just like I said, wild to me that that's something that, I mean, again, like I said, I can't necessarily say if it's the most amazing move or the worst move. It's just there's not enough information to really get an understanding on why was this done. Though I will say, optically, it does not look the best. I'll say that. When you, because you have 11 kingdoms, you could have done 2 4s and 1 3, and you would have been fine, and then you just set it up for the next one. You also could have done 1 5 and 1 6. This, to me, like, when I think about it, them going into S1 Plus, with how crowded it is already, I mean, now, there are 2 ways of looking at this. One way is that, okay, there's going to potentially be a lot of early Zone 1 fighting. But the challenge is, and this is one of the things that I often talk about, is that if you take this type of Infinity Kingdom style approach, where you essentially allow for the Merged Kingdom season to be decided in either its entirety or in a large part from Zone 1, that is an extremely big turnoff to replayability of the game when you're thinking about having to get people invested into season after season after season with the resets to play out the entirety of that season from the starting Zone 1 to then being able to cap the passes going into the adjacent Zone 1s, then we're working eventually your way into Zone 2 and Zone 3. There is just not going to be, again, when you're combining this many kingdoms, you're probably going to see a significant amount of player drop-off because of the amount of early fighting, and you're not allowing players to actually be able to play the game beyond the starting Zone 1, at least for a portion, however much that may be. So anyways, that's my little rant out of the way. Let's actually look at what some of the stats are. So when we look at the two kingdoms here that are getting put into this group, which is SS1-4 and SS1-5, which you can see here, at least between these two merged kingdoms, there's an less than 900 mil power difference. However, bear in mind that we do not know all of the kingdoms that are going to be... Again, not all the alliances, I should say specifically, are allied with each other in each of these merged kingdoms. So that will be interesting to see how things develop. I'm sure there's probably a lot of diplomacy that's going to be happening right now. Then we move in to what I would consider to be the next goods. Well, sorry, first off, in these ones you got 18.5s unlocked for SS1. Oh gosh, where was I here for 1 and 2? Yeah, I believe the first one here is SS1-4. Next one should be, I think, SS1-5 from what I captured. Let's double check here. Right? 1-4, 15... And yeah, no, sorry, reverse. This is, we'll do this. We'll do it like this. Sorry, this is SS1-4, and then we'll go up here, SS1-5, just so it's clear and people aren't chewing me up. All right, let's, bam, looking beauty. So like I said, you got 18.5s, 4 SS1-4. You got 170 Council 25s, 147 for SS1-4, SS1-5 at 19.3 million for their bubble minimum, and then 19.8 million for their bubble minimum on 1-4. Okay, now we get into the 4 groups, which let's start with the first one, which is 91 through 94, and then these are actually kind of going in chronological order nicely, which means that because you're at 102, potentially we could see 103 through 104, or sorry, 103 through 106, 5, 4, 5, 6, yeah, I can count. But anyway, starting here, you have, again, if you're looking at 7.8, 6.5, you have a 1.3536 billion power difference. Again, a little high for me when I think about it. I mean, I would have loved, if you're just looking at the power here from top, you could have done 95, 91, 97, 98, and then you would have had less than a billion power difference, right? This would have been like, what, 990 something, but it would have been a little better. And then you could have done these two, right, 6.8 to 7.3. Now you're looking at a 500 million difference. And then if you're going here, you're looking at about a 400, 360 million difference, right? So pairings, in my opinion, could have been, with the exception of 95 through 98, but it would have been the best that you could have done thus far without... Now, see, what they could have done, and again, I don't mean to go off on these multiple tangents, but what I would have actually liked to seen them do is I would have liked to seen them split up the kingdoms, SS1-4 and SS1-5, and at least had individual leaderboards, which let me say that I really wish this was a feature in the game, and I hope it does become one where you can still have individual leaderboards for your home kingdom so you can still see who is there. Because right now, when you get merged into a kingdom and you have the migration thing happening, sure, you can migrate people into your kingdom, but you don't really know every single person that's in your kingdom because you don't have any way to appropriately gauge that, right? The only way you can really do it is you have to be having some type of external record that you're keeping, something like a Discord or something like a spreadsheet that you're keeping track of, because you have no way of looking at who is actually a part of your home kingdom in some type of macro way. You'd essentially would have to go to each of these players and have them look at their profiles, or the people that actually know they're a part of the kingdom, and have them register on some type of external section or some type of external area so you can keep track of this, right? It'd be nice to have some type of internal tracking as well. Anyways, I digress. That's kind of how I think I would have liked to seen this matchup. I don't think there's necessarily a problem with looking at general total power if that's kind of your primary or your initial, or if you're looking at like the top 200 player power, maybe that's how they're going off of. I mean, that is a little bit harder and difficult to gauge because it just takes more time to actually pull that type of data if you're talking about just looking at a sum total for the top 200 players off of the power, individual power leaderboard. So anyways, let's go here. Let's go across. Like I said, 1.36 billion difference. You got Kingdom 91 has 75s unlocked, 5 for 92, 194, 3 for 93. You got Kingdom 92 has 25 Council 25s unlocked, but then you have Kingdom 91 at 10.44 million for their number 200 bubble player. Then we get into the second group, which is 95 through 98. and you have a 1.32 billion power difference. So very similar to the 91 through 94 group. And then we have 9 T5s unlocked here for 97. You got 52 Castle 25s unlocked for 95. And then 95 also at the highest bubble minimum for their powered players, which is at 10.74 million. Then we get to probably, again, the closer of the groups as far as when it comes to kind of general power balance, so to speak, between the strongest kingdom and the weakest in that group of 4, which is 99 through 102. You have an 896 million power difference. You have Kingdom 101 with 65s unlocked. You have 99 with 40 Castle 25s. And then we have Kingdom 100 at 9.78, 9.79, if you will, or even 9.8 mil for their number 200 bubble. But the difference actually isn't that wide. I probably should do an average. Ooh, that's a good idea. I'm going to try and do that next time, where we look at the average for the personal bubble minimums between, because you got 10.4, 9.5. That's almost 900. What is it, 900,000, if I can do some math right, between. And then from here, you got 9.6, you got, a mil, a little over a mil, almost 1.5. And then here on the last group, you have, 340 thousand. So this is actually a lot better when you're talking kind of number 200 plus, or number 200 position and above. And yeah, that pretty much rounds out our, again, upcoming 23 Kingdom Next KvK merge group. And this is our preview video, just kind of going over some of the stats and data, and I hope you guys enjoyed. Now, last thing I'm going to mention, if you are interested in taking a look at this data, I know I forgot to mention it in the last video, I will be putting a link to this sheet for any of the kingdoms that are within this set, or for anyone else who just wants to look at it. I will have it in the description along with the pinned comment, so that way if you want to just take a look, save it, review it again. I made the last one public when I did 27 through 90, so I'll be making this one public as well. Beyond that, really what I would love to hear now is your thoughts. I know I went off on a few kind of road or branches, if you will, and I always appreciate those who enjoy what I do, even though it's never intentional. Sometimes the thoughts come up to the mind, and it's one of those things I always like to try and comment in the moment so I don't forget. With that being said, that is going to do it for me. Let me know what you think about the data, about the matchups. Right? Do you agree? Do you disagree on what I was saying recommended for like the KvK groups, on being able to see individual leaderboards for the home kingdom still? Right? Anything and everything, let me know down there. That's going to do it for me. As always, until next time, I will catch you later.